All right, how's everybody doing? I'm OGL Schmitt. This is Custom OGT. Been looking forward to this one for a while. I've been dying to react to some Bruce Springsteen. Just can never find the right song, context, however you want to put it. So OGT member David Moody, thank you so much. David requested that we react to The Ghost of Tom Joad, by Bruce Springsteen featuring Tom Morello. So this is it's a doubleheader. Not only is Bruce Springsteen making his custom OGT debut, but so is Tom Morello. I'm a big fan of Springsteen. I've enjoyed his work since Born in the USA. He has a massive body of work that is very consistent and very compelling. And Tom, him and Rage Against the Machine just lit the world on fire during the 90s. He is an amazing guitar player. I think both of these guys are kind of united in their desire to help those less fortunate, which is really good to see. This song is actually from the album of the same name that Bruce released. It was sort of a polarizing album because it was very bleak and very serious. And I think it was originally more of like an acoustic folk song. The character Tom Joad was actually from the novel The Grapes of Wrath, which was set during the Great Depression. So this is not going to be fun per se, but it's going to be very intense and very compelling. So let's check out Bruce Springsteen and Tom Morello.
Walking along the railroad tracks, going someplace there's no going back. Highway patrol choppers coming up over the ridge. Hot soup on a campfire under the bridge. Shelter line stretching around the corner. Welcome to the New World Order. Families sleeping in their cars in the Southwest. No home, no job, no peace, no rest. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, searching for the ghost of Tom Joad.
All right, so just want to give my thoughts on what I've heard so far. It's a big production right off the bat. I think the original was very bare bones. Just Bruce acoustic guitar, some harmonica, I think. May have to check out the original. I'm not familiar with the song. As a singer, Bruce is he's got one of the most unique voices I've heard. I've joked that he has this ability to sound both drunk and constipated at the same time. Um, what I'm meaning, I guess, is that he doesn't enunciate particularly well a lot of times, although it seems like when he wants to, his diction is perfect. Welcome to the New World Order. Yeah, there's no doubt what he said there. No food, no home, no rest, something like that. I might pull up the lyrics when this is done just to take a look. It seems like a very it seems to be about someone who's homeless, struggling to find a means. I think he was also inspired, in addition to The Grapes of Wrath, by a book called A Study of Homelessness. Um, Something along those lines. Again, Bruce has always been very charitably minded, but for a theme like this, I've always thought his voice was perfect. Because even when he was younger, even when he was in his early 30s, he had this world weary quality to his voice that just seemed like he was being beaten down and he was struggling to hold up some great weight. And it really draws you in. I can joke about his enunciation, but his expressiveness is absolutely off the charts. So I'm going to start this over because I really liked the sort of the sweeping nature of the intro, and let's sort of take in these lyrics. Again, it's not cheerful, but it's poignant and it's powerful. Bruce with that Telecaster.
Been walking along the railroad tracks, gone someplace there's no going back. Highway patrol choppers coming up over the ridge, hot soup on a campfire under the bridge, shelter line stretching around the corner. Welcome to the new world order. Families sleeping in their cars in the Southwest. No home, no job, no peace, no rest. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, searching for the ghost of Tom Joad. He pulls a prayer book out of his sleeping bag. Preacher lights up a butt and takes a drag, waiting for when the last shall be first and the first shall be last. In a cardboard box beneath the underpass, you got a one-way ticket to the promised land. You got a hole in your belly and a gun in your hand, sleeping on a pillow of solid rock, bathing in the city's aqueduct. Hey. Well, the highway is alive tonight. Where it's headed, everybody knows. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost of Tom Joad.
Okay, I didn't know Tom sang. It was very cool because even with lyrics like "you got a hole in your belly and a gun in your hand," that's as grim as it gets. And the song's lyrics are very they pull no punches as far as a depiction of homelessness, hopelessness. But Tom can't help but smile because it's the experience of sharing the stage with one of his idols. I've heard that Tom is a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. That was really cool to see. That even the weight of the song, can't hold down his joy at performing with his with one of his idols. Tom's voice, actually, it sounds like there's some Springsteen influence there. I don't have any other vocal performances from Tom to measure this by, so maybe he was just sort of reacting to being with Bruce. Maybe vocally he is influenced by Bruce, but a lot of similar qualities. There's that grit that is sort of throughout. Sometimes it's very subtle. Sometimes they can bring it up in a very pronounced manner. There's the sort of this pent-up anger that you can feel in their vocal lines. Bruce has always been very good with that. I'm really impressed. Tom's able to pull that off as well. Tom does a lot of toss-offs with the end of his phrases. Bruce kind of ends his clip them pretty tightly, whereas Tom will be like, huh. I'm not meaning to say he's lazy. It's almost it's a stylization. It almost maybe sounds like he's sort of taking on the part of someone who's dismissive of this issue. And I think a lot of people they want to care, but they think they don't think they could do anything, or a lot of money gets put into charities to help the homeless, and yet the problem is still there. I think one of the big problems that people don't understand is that it's not a one cause issue. It's not a simple problem, so it's not going to have a simple solution. And a lot of the money that it's taken, it goes into sort of creating, for lack of a better term, an industry. So then the money goes into paying salaries for these people and to sort of perpetuating the industry. And in order to keep the industry going, the problem has to continue. I think sometimes you have some very cruel people that are taking advantage of this situation, and others you have people that legitimately were trying to do their best and just kind of got caught up in this. So that's, I don't have any solutions that I can throw out right there. It's just something that has to be thought about with a very open mind, because like I said, it's not a simple problem. It's not going to have a simple solution. I think songs like this, raising people's consciousness, sort of putting people in the mindset of someone who is in that predicament. I've never been homeless myself. I've had friends who were, briefly. I can't imagine. Especially like a lot of older Americans, it's happening to them. And I just hate that, to live out your final days like that. So yeah, just help those around you, I guess. Help people in need. Do what you can. That is the best you can do, is to try to be there for those that need help. God, I'm getting up on my soapbox here and just yammering. Yeah, the song, it sounds like they have like a string arrangement going there. It's not overpowering. It's kind of underneath everything. Because honestly, the vocals here are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And yeah, I just love the harmonies too. Because they sort of had those similar tones, their harmonies kind of synced up, and it was different harmonies. It wasn't like your home free kind of, soaring, intricate, beautiful harmonies. These were like gritty, almost like working class harmonies. Just sort of lower in pitch with that roughness to them. It literally sounded like two people that were like working at a factory, venting. Yeah, Springsteen's always been a champion for the working class, as has Morello. So yeah, I love how this song just sort of encapsulates both of them. Okay, I'm going to get back to the music now. I thank you all for listening to me, those of you that haven't run off. Let's pull this back just a little bit. Yeah, Tom's vocals there really surprised me. He is a very talented man. And a lot of your fans are like, yeah, no shit. Let me write this down. But yeah, didn't know he had that in his arsenal.
Ticket to the promised land. You got a hole in your belly and a gun in your hand. Sleeping on a pillow of solid rock. Bathing in the city's aqueduct. Well, the highway is alive tonight. Where it's headed, everybody knows. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost of Tom Joad. Tom said, Mom, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry newborn baby cries, where there's a fight against the blood and hatred in the air, look for me, Mom, I'll be there. Wherever somebody's fighting for a place to
Okay, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna back it up to the guitar solos, and then gonna let that play. This vocal bit by Bruce Springsteen was amazing, but I've got to talk about the solo trade-offs. Bruce is no slouch on the guitar. He sounded like he was pulling off some pretty mean squealies there, the artificial harmonics. Even the guitar sounded like it was sort of almost crying out in despair. Morello, his first solo was very restrained. I think that's what I like about Tom. Tom has no problem admitting he grew up, listening to guys in the 80s like, Randy Rhoads and Van Halen and like the whole sort of shred culture. Back then, he picked up a lot of that stuff. That was how he originally played, and then he was able to morph that into his own style. Like a lot of guys just sort of became sort of cookie cutter. You listen to Rage Against the Machine, he makes that guitar make all kinds of crazy sounds. But here, that second solo definitely to me had that Randy Rhoads influence. It felt very, very elegant, very emotional. Once again, I'm sure it was a blast for those guys to sort of be trading licks with each other. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to that, and then I want to talk about Bruce's vocal. All right, here we go.
Now Tom said, Mom, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry newborn baby cries, where there's a fight against the blood and hatred in the air, look for me, Mom, I'll be there. Wherever...
All right, not to interrupt Tom. First, you could see Bruce's intensity there, and you could hear it too. That heavy breathing, that breathing that you could hear added so much to it. It felt like he was just seething and trying to compose himself. And the vocal there, it was gritty, it was constricted, it was practically sung through clenched teeth. Yeah, that is vocal expression where you don't need, an 8-octave range or to do a huge long run. That is direct and it is powerful and it hits you right in the face. And Springsteen's been a master of that. He's done that for decades. I had a friend that saw Springsteen maybe 10 years ago, and he was late 50s, early 60s then. Said he played for 3 hours, high energy, running around the stage, never let up. Um, they don't call him the boss for nothing. Yeah, wow, that. Gonna listen to that one more time, and then I'm actually gonna let Tom finish his line there. Yeah, those solos were just that guitar trade off. These guys are. I want an album of these two together. They complement each other so well. Yeah.
Now Tom said, Mom, wherever there's a cop beating a guy, wherever a hungry newborn baby cries, where there's a fight against the blood and hatred in the air, look for me, Mom, I'll be there. Wherever somebody's fighting for a place to stand, for a decent job or a helping hand, wherever somebody's struggling to be free, look in their eyes, Ma, you'll see me. Well, the highway is alive tonight. Where it's headed, everybody knows. I'm sitting down here in the campfire light, waiting on the ghost of Tom Joad. Well, the highway is alive tonight, but nobody's kidding nobody about where it goes. I'm sitting down here in the campfire night, with the ghost of old Tom Joad, with the ghost of old Tom Joad, with the ghost of old Tom Joad.
Wow. As if the song wasn't awesome enough, that that ending solo. It was almost like Tom's vocal response to Springsteen's like teeth gnashing monologue, I guess, in that song. Tom sounded like he was sort of a guy who was standing behind Bruce, but was trying to calm him down. Like Bruce sounded like he was gonna go hook someone up, and Tom's voice in that was sort of like almost okay, we've got this, but let's be reasonable about it. And if I feel like Tom was sort of like, okay, I can't match Bruce vocally, so I'm just gonna just tear things up on this guitar. Like he was doing stuff there that sounded like splintering metal. Then he turned his guitar into a turntable. I've heard slightly similar sounds. Guys like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani in the 80s started that kind of experimental type of guitar playing. Tom has definitely taken it to a whole nother level. And it's really cool to see that he can do all of that craziness. I was thinking, it's like, okay, there is the Tom Morello that I know. But he can do all that and he can still play, like a classic, elegant, emotional solo. And when he's playing and he's doing all this crazy stuff, you see Bruce look over with a big smile on his face. It's like, oh, wow. And I think even there's a lady in there singing backup that's Springsteen's wife. And even she was looking at like, what the hell is this guy doing? I love their chemistry on stage. Like I said, I want to hear an album of these two together. And I do just want to say, even when he's just playing rhythm guitar in the background, Bruce is so intense. He's so animated that at this stage in his career, he is still, that energized by music is a beautiful thing to see. So I'm going to play this ending solo one more time because it was amazing. And then we're going to see it off. Guys, thank you very much for sticking with me for this long because, wow, this has been something. All right.
Old Tom Joad.
So, the biggest takeaway, there are a lot of big takeaways from that. Both of those guys are amazing. To see Springsteen in that form when he's not a young man is super impressive. Seeing Tom Morello's talents out on full display was amazing. I love the arrangement of the song. I'm not sure what it sounds like as a sort of like a folk ballad, but it did really well as a sort of big orchestral hymn, for lack of a better term. Both guys absolutely killed it, and I think my favorite part of it was still, despite the dark nature of the lyrics and the tragic nature of it, both guys just looked like they were having so much fun on stage, and You always say music is your best support group. There you go. Those guys showed it. Take care of yourselves so you can take care of others. That is relevant as well. Mental health is real. Be a part of the start. Thank you guys so much. If you like, there's links in the description to support the channel. Or if you would just like to join our Discord, and we can talk for days about how awesome this performance was. Thank you all very much. This has been 30+ minute reaction, so I'm sorry to take so much of your time, but man, this song was worth it. Thank you all very much. Have a good day.